Branding is extremely important and critical for every business that wants to grow, that wants to thrive in the marketplace. It is branding that is going to help you stand out in the market. Branding is also going to help you attract the kind of clients you want that are willing to pay for your products or service at the premium, and thirdly, it's going to help you rack up your sales and revenue and ultimately lead to profitability. Now, there are lots of business owners and entrepreneurs that don't realize just how important branding is to the survival and the growth of your businesses. So today I'm going to introduce you to the concept of branding and how you can use branding to position yourself profitably within the market. My name is Elliott Adombila. Welcome to another session of the Ground Up series. Stay tuned. Before we define what a brand is, we want to look at some of the common misconceptions people have about its meaning. So people think that their logo is their brand, but you need to understand that your logo is just a visual representation of your brand. Same is true for the designs you're using, even from your printed materials. So all the designs that you're using are just the visual representation of your brand. People think that their products and their services, as well as their companies, is or are their brands. But you need to understand that your product, your service may carry the brand, but the product and the service in itself is not your brand. Neither is your company. Your name is also not your brand. Your website is not your brand. Your customers are not your brand. Your positioning in the market is not your brand. All these are various things that come to contribute to make your brand what it is, but they are in no way your brand. Now that we know what a brand is not, let's look at what a brand is. According to Matthew Newmeyer, a branding expert, he defines a brand as a customer's gut feeling about a company, a product, or service. He says it's in their hearts and minds. What this definition tells us is you are not a custodian of your brand. Your brand is what people say it is. The people that are interacting with your brand, your customers, your suppliers, all the people that experience your brand through the various touch points are the people that determine what your brand is. So if the people say you are a luxury brand, it means you're a luxury brand. If they say you are a cheap brand, then it means you are a cheap brand. You can go and say that your brand is a luxury brand. You could say that you are the best in the market. But when the people that interact with your brand say you're not, then it means your brand is not. The custodians of your brand are the people that interact with it. Now that we know what a brand is, let's define branding. I define branding as the various activities you carry out to influence people's perception of who you are, your company, your products, and your services. You need to understand that irrespective of your action or inaction, people are going to form an opinion. They're going to have a perception of who you are. So the best you can do for your business and your company is to actively carry out activities to influence these perceptions that people are going to form concerning your brand. Now that we understand what branding is, let's look at some of the traits of a strong brand. A strong brand, number one, has got the ability to evoke the right feelings with your customers. How are people feeling about your brand? What emotions do they have? Are they happy? Are they sad? Do they get excited when they think about your brand? Are they always looking forward to experiencing your brand? Or do they become frustrated? Do they get angry anytime they think about your brand? So a brand that is unable to invoke the right feelings, that is unable to get people to feel the right way about the brand, is not a strong brand. It is a weak brand. If your branding is done well, it will be able to invoke the right feelings towards your brand. Number two, a strong brand gives you a competitive advantage. If your brand doesn't give you an advantage, then it means that it is not a strong brand. When you have a strong brand, people are willing to do business with you irrespective of the cost. It is because brands like Nike and Adidas have a strong brand that people are willing to pay extra dollars for their products. So if you have a strong brand, people would be willing to do business with you irrespective of the cost. That is how you know you have a strong brand. Your brand should be able to give you a competitive advantage. And finally, number 3, a strong brand helps you stand out in the marketplace. You need to ask yourself this question: within your industry, within your space, do you stand out? Do people take note of you? Are you unique? Are you different? If the answer is no, then your brand is not strong. It means that you need to change your branding strategy so that you are able to stand out in the market. So with these 3 points, you should be able to assess and know whether you have a strong brand or not. But I want you to remember this, that consistency is the key to building a solid brand.